Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here, returning to you this evening for a album review for Justin Timberlake's newest record. I believe this is his sixth studio album, Everything I Thought It Was, for his uh, 2024 record that I'm going to be reviewing for you guys tonight. So hopefully you will enjoy this album review because this is the long, highly anticipated record I've been waiting for. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to. Sorry about the ding, that's my phone. Uh, for this 18 track album, which is a 77-minute record, and let you know my thoughts on this album overall. So let's dive into this album review now. Basically, Memphis was the start of the record. It started with him rapping and kind of singing nicely in a way. Um, and yeah, basically, pretty much Memphis. I think the bridge part had the rapping in it, and towards the end of the song it did too. But overall, it's pretty dope song. So this is a 5 out of 5 for me. Fucking Up the Disco. This is a 4.75 out of 5. It's pretty good in its own way, but there are some hit or miss moments with this track. Justin Timberlake's vocals are pretty good in this song, but it's some of the execution that's alright, but the production in this record is really good. I will say that. It is pretty good. So 4.75 out of 5 for Fucking Up the Disco. No Angels is a strong track. I really like this track. I wasn't sure if I was used to it or not yet, but I know this was a song that he played on the Jimmy Fallon show or Jimmy Kimmel live show or whatever, one of those. But overall, strong track, so 5 out of 5. Play, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but it is pretty good in its own way. The production in it's pretty strong. I will give it that. Some of the lyrics are hit or miss, but overall, this track is pretty good in its own way, so 4.75 out of 5. Technicolor was a 7-minute and 17-second track, but it was a really well executed track. Starts off pretty mellow, but then the outro, the second half of it, is where the mixing and production get really good. And this track comes off pretty strong in a good way, so this is a 5 out of 5. Drown is one of my favorite singles that came out for this record. I really enjoyed this song, and it was the second single for this album. Thank God he only dropped 2 singles for this record because it kept us anticipated for what we were expecting for this record. And yeah, 5 out of 5. Liar featuring Fireboy DML is a pretty strong track. Fireboy DML, I don't know, his rapping was it was fine and tolerable, and it still was a very well executed track with the mixing and production. So the mixing and production behind this track was pretty outstanding. So 5 out of 5. Infinity Sex is, I don't know, this track was pretty good in its own way, but there's some execution flaws with some of this track, with the lyrics mostly. I don't know, the lyrics are a little standoffish, but at times, but still the track executes alright for what it's going for. 4.75 out of 5. Love and War is a pretty good song in its own way. There are some hit or miss moments with how Justin Timberlake's singing it from time to time. I don't know if I really connect with his vocals in this track, but overall, still a strong track in its own way. 4.75 out of 5. Then we get to the strongest final half of the record, which is the second half. Sanctified featuring Toby Wigwe, I believe is how you pronounce his last name or whatever. I don't know. But pretty strong track. The mixing is spot on good, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this track for what it went for. So basically, this is a 5 out of 5. I really dig this track, and pretty much Sanctified was one of my favorite tracks for this record. Well, not necessarily the favorite, but there are a few other favorites that I really think are pretty strong. So, yeah, 5 out of 5. My favorite drug is a pretty strong track in its own way. Um, I'll give it a 5 out of 5 too. I really dug this track, and the mixing is pretty strong. Flame is a 5 minute and 41 second track, and the mixing is really good. This sounds really good, this whole record. I will tell you that. So, 5 out of 5 for Flame. The way Justin Timberlake is singing it from time to time, it's strong. And I like the vocals in this track. And how he plays with his vocals a little bit in this track. Imagination is more of a 80s pop kind of song with how the melody sounds. It sounds a little disco-y pop stuff, but it's strong for what it goes for, so 5 out of 5. What Lovers Do is the song before you get to Selfish, which is one of my favorite singles, along with Drown. So this is a 5 out of 5. I really dig this track as the song before Selfish. And then we get to Selfish, which Lovers Do. What Lovers Do is getting a 5 out of 5. Selfish is a pretty strong track. I still come back to this song quite a bit from time to time, but it's still very strong for what it goes for. So I like it. 5 out of 5. The mixing is pretty strong, and this is one of the best singles I listened to as the lead single for this album's announcement. Then we get to Alone. Pretty strong song for how it sounds. And just the mixing is really good. And this was a well orchestrated melody. The well orchestrated melody was what caught my attention with this song, and just how Justin Timberlake is singing the track. It executes pretty well. 5 out of 5. And the most hyped song we all were excited to listen to, which is Paradise featuring NSYNC. This is one of my favorite songs. I really dig this track with how NSYNC and Justin Timberlake were collabing together in this track, and it sounds so good. This is a very fresh, very well mixed track, and the melody is what shines a little light to the track and makes it beautifully written and beautifully mixed and all that stuff. So basically, this is one of my favorite songs on this record, and it's the second to last song before you get to the final song on the album. So 5 out of 5. Conditions, this one's pretty good too. So I really like it as the closing track. It's fine for what it is. So 5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I found this to be JT's best album in 11 years. And I will say why 11 years, because there were 2 of the 2020 Experience albums, which is 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. The first part being the 2020 Experience, and 2020 Experience 2 of 2 was the last one that he released for the 2020 Experience saga. So basically, this was his best album in like over a decade. And I think he pulled it off very well with the mixing and the production. This is one of my favorite albums that I will be purchasing for sure in the coming days. But overall, for a score for me, I'm giving Justin Timberlake's Everything I Thought It Was album a 9 out of 10. One of my favorite records this year. I wouldn't say the strongest album, but it is a strong record. It was a very well mixed record with a lot of anticipated songs that I did not think would pull. I did not think he would have a good record in a long time, because Man of the Woods was not his best, and that came out like 6 years ago, and it wasn't good. I will tell you that. And I'm glad he stepped it up in this one and put out a well-mixed, well-produced, well-executed album that utilized, and the authenticity in this record is what got me really hooked to this record, and I really enjoyed it. It did make me happy at the end of the day, this album. So 9 out of 10 for Justin Timberlake, Everything I Thought It Was album. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and thanks for watching.